Hello, horse players. Man, Saturday, welcome Oaklawn cappers. This is the Oaklawn capping hour. Marko, Friday was a good show. We had Steve DeCaspers on. We hit the early double. We hit the late pick 3, late pick 4, although it didn't pay as much as we wanted. We had a lot of nice will pays. Man, I needed his Dwayne Lucas or your 11 to clunk up for second. That 3 horse got sandwiched in between those two with that 4, and I would have had a huge exacta too on top of hitting everything else. But I made money. Our pick of the day, really, all 3 of us, we picked the feature race. I'm already forgetting the name of the horse. The 3.
Time for Trouble, I believe.
Time for Trouble. That horse looked like a winner all the way throughout, and really, Bejarano didn't do him any favors. Smashed the.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get a bad trip for a minute.
Well, he smashed Command Performance out of the gate, and then got in a little bit of trouble in that first turn. But on the backside, man, just looked strong. One relatively easy. There was an inquiry. It had to do with the 1 and the 8. So
it was a good run. $8,000 claimer.
Was an $8,000 claimer. Now it's much nicer.
What a nice horse. Yeah, things could have been better. If Peter Miller's horse could have got the easier lead and had to work for it, it would have been real nice, because then there would have been a pick-5 that would have been hit.
You're talking about the early?
Yeah, I went 4 out of 5. I went 4 out of 5, and the one I lost was the 1-to-1 shot.
Yeah, that sucks. Even money. If you remember, I picked it second, and we both pick that one second, I think.
Yeah, because we scratched into it.
Because we also picked the horse that scratched on top.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. So what we did is we said, all right, we're going to throw Pete in now. If you remember, I said, man, I hope this horse likes an off track. It's the only thing I was worried. And I put a trip note in saying play back on a fast strip. So I'm going to try that one back on a fast strip. So we'll see what happens with that one. But it was a good day. And I chipped away at my, we'll talk about that in a little bit. There's 10. See, I got this messed up. There's 10 races today at Oaklawn, and today is Saturday, and it is the 13th, right?
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. We got 10 races Saturday 13th, and we handicap for mud, and it's kind of chilly down there. You got a little bit of a warm front coming. And we think the track's going to dry out, right?
Should be sunshine and mid-40s tomorrow all day during the races. Okay. Should dry out, especially later on.
Worst case scenario, first couple of races might be muddy, but you know what? I think we're going to have a fast strip. I think it's going to dry out, especially if we get that sun. I think we'll be okay. So no rain in the forecast. The ROI, I chipped away. You lost like, I don't know, a few bucks, $2, $3, $4, whatever. You needed that 11 to be a winner for the day, be in the black. I chipped away like 20 bucks off my ROI, my negative ROI there. And like we said, or say, we're like honestly, a 15-to-1 shot, and I'm even. So it's $2 win place. We pick every race. Normally we're not going to handicap and bet every race, but for the purposes of our show, we're doing a mythical $2 win place on each of our picks. And if our top pick doesn't get in or scratches or whatever, we go to the backup. If the backup's out, then I think we're counting the favorite, or we're not counting it at all. I forgot what we're doing, but we haven't come to that conclusion yet.
I would rather not have anything, because more than likely I'm probably not going to have the favorite, and the favorite probably
yeah. If we don't have the post time favorite, then yeah, we'll just zero that out. All right, so listen, let's go to the first race. The first race is right off the bat, $141,000 allowance race. Non-winners of 3. This is 9 panels. And look, this race here, I actually, your backup pick, I was intrigued by, but then I said, man, it just doesn't win often. And a lot of those the horses in here don't win often. It is a non-winners of 3 life. So, you know, the 2's 2 for 17, the 3's 2 for 15 with 7 seconds, the 4, who I kind of like a little bit, 2 for 16, OP Firecrackers 2 for 20, Winter's Lion, who's a little bit intriguing, 2 for 14. I just couldn't land on any of those. I think the 7 is your most likely winner. I want to try and beat it. And my notes on the 1 speed bias is today's the day. And I'm hoping it keeps going. And it's run against some good horses. Your pick War Campaign beat it last time. It ran a winning race that day. 2 back in the Fayette against O'Connor, ran a monster race, lost by a neck in a 3-way photo. So, I mean, you know, this horse is fast, and yeah, it doesn't win often, but I think today's the day. That's all I'm saying. I think it's going to go to the front, and your horse is going to make a big run at it and not be too far out of it, but I think it's a 2-horse race, honestly. And I think I'm just going to hold you off.
Well, I kind of have a slightly different opinion on this race. So, yeah, Magic Tap definitely gives up the experience in this race with only 6 starts. But I don't think he gives up the ability. Price per start, he pretty much crushes the field. And like you said, there aren't any world beaters in here. And I think Magic Tap has the most upside. But yeah, speed bias will set the pace. I think Magic Tap will be right in his rearview mirror. And when Magic Tap gets on even terms with him, which I think he will, speed bias will I think he will yield. Looks like that's what he will do if he gets eyeballed. And I think that will also create a good opportunity for Creative Minister to come up and sneak into the exacta. And so I kind of have speed bias in 3rd. And another one that could plot in there underneath is Winter's Lion. So I'm actually going to make a bet in this race. I'm doing a $5 superfecta, 7 over the.
You're going to do a superfecta in this race?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it 5 times. $5 superfecta. Right. But if you have it 5 times, for a $30 bet, you might be able to make $500.
All right. Well, all right.
For $30, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do 7 over the 1, 4, and 6 only, maybe $5 or $10. If it hits, like I think I can make $500-$600 maybe. So
okay, well,
get some value for a cheap bet.
For me, it's a win bet. This is the one's going to be all or nothing this time. Even though it's run second a few times here and there, but you're right. I mean, I think it's just been caught in some speed duels with some much faster horses, earlier. And that's why it hasn't held on. I think today it's going to get the lead and relatively easy from the 1 post. And I think the Asmussen connections know that that's the fastest horse. And that, yeah, it has that tendency to yield. But I think you might see a merry-go-round race where it just goes 1-7 all the way around, where maybe the 7's connections feel like, okay, we're going to push a button at the quarter pole and we're going to overtake the 1. But I don't know. I have the sneaky suspicion that the 1's going to walk the dog a little bit here. And it might pull it off. So, I mean, look, 9-5, 8-5. The 1's actually the favorite, which is kind of interesting, but I think it's those 2. If the 7 does get stupid and presses the 1 and they just like bang heads and they're like 10 lengths in front of everybody else and they're like, I want the lead. No, I want the lead. I want the lead. Then yeah, one of these other ones can catch them both. Winter's Lion, Creative Minister. So I don't see that happening though.
Probably not.
All right. Well, 1-7 for me, 7-4 for you. We won't spend too much more time on that. We'll go to the second race. It is a State Bred 35 maiden claiming event. And last time I did pick the 8 Mr. Benny because it was exiting those Prairie Meadows, open allowance races where it looked like mud. So I picked it when it ran against State Breds and dropped. And it almost won at 14-1. It was my value play of the day that day. Well, I have a similar horse in here that's doing the same thing, and that's the 9. Excuse me, not the 9. The 11. Let me switch this. I thought I saved this. I actually want the 11 on top. I meant to save that. All right, so there it goes. All right, so I got the 11 on top this time. This horse is much faster than Mr. Benny was. And it's dropping, and it's running against Arkansas Breds. And at 9-2, I mean, give me that all day long like Donkey Kong. I'm going to go to Windows heavy on this one. I'll probably do a big 111 double. And I think this horse is going to be very tough to beat in this spot. The my backup who I showed that I had on there, it's just a professional maiden. Collects checks once in a while, but not really lately. It was running open company down south. Ran here last year in a couple of respectable races in State Bred maiden company, but they did drop it down to 12-5 and it couldn't win there either. But it's had some time off, and I like this bug that we've talked about, Bilamir. I like weight going a route a lot more than sprints, but 10 pounds is 10 pounds. And Villafranco's too good of a trainer to. I mean, he's 0 for 6 here, and he's only 10% last year. So I don't know what's going on with his barn, but I'm hoping he can figure things out, and this horse might be able to hit the board as well. What did you like about that 6?
Well, what was it? Cheese Whiz, Ches Whiz, whatever.
Ches Whiz, yeah.
I like pretty much the fact that he showed the ability to pass horses in both of his starts. I think that's encouraging for young horses, and he can build off those races. Today he will be adding the blinkers and getting Lasix. It's the second start off the layoff after running here a couple weeks ago. And you got the same jock back in the irons, Torres. And then this race looks kind of top heavy with runners like wanting to lead. I just couldn't put my finger on one, So I figured maybe this one could actually use that to his advantage and go get them all. Mr. Benny, my second choice, he showed some guts in the last race. He got in a little speed duel with actually same Streak and Deacon, who's also in this race. He's in number 12.
Yep.
He got in a duel with him, put him away, and then you've seen it before, and then a bomber just came late and picked him off. So I'm looking for pace, and I'm looking for improvement with Cheese Whiz to pass them all this time.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. There's some speed on the outside. So I see what you're saying. I mean, Mr. Benny was a little bit prominent and tough on the rail. My horse will show a lot of speed. The 12 was, an obvious speed fade. I don't know if they're going to try those same tactics, but that was the one, like you mentioned, that butted heads with Mr. Benny last time up there.
Yeah.
And it was favorite. Was favorite that day. in its maiden debut. So, but duly noted. I mean,
anything can happen here with these second timers.
Yeah, you got some equipment changes and Lasix and blinkers and
he passes horses. I like that.
Passing horses. Yeah. All right, cool. Archie Brez, we'll see what happens with that race. Race number 3 is a 55,000 claiming event for straight 3-year-olds. And I landed on the 6, who's your backup. And that's Bye Bye Liam Asmussen. And, this horse, it lost to Valentine Candy, that's a horse that you actually picked in a stake last time out. In this particular race, it ran faster Valentine Candy in that Advent than it did in its latest start. So got an 84 buyer speed figure this day, and Bye Bye Liam just couldn't compete with that field. But this is a much easier spot. You could say, hey, did it like the slop? I don't know. I mean, it ran well in the slop, and it won at 27-1 at Churchill. But I'm going to say the class drop is going to do it wonders. Again, 3-year-old now, so it gets Lasix. And it's Asmussen. So I landed there at a square price. You landed on the 5 horse.
Hey, Jojo. So I was looking at this race pretty long. So this horse has been, in my opinion, has been running against much stiffer competition than a lot of these runners here. The 2-back maiden score produced 3 next out winners, including a horse called Google Joke, who then ran 3rd in the Renaissance Stakes here behind Valentine Candy and Tejon Pass. Last out was a claiming 50 first versus winners. He finished 4th. The winner of that race placed 2nd in a stakes race in his last out, and the runner-up won a $30,000 starter allowance in his last start. So the horses that he got beat by in the last out are winning right now. So I think with that, it just looks like the competition level was just good, and I think it's not a real tough race. This one, I think this is maybe my strongest opinion on the whole card. 5 in race 3 here.
That's interesting because you have my top pick as your backup, and I think that's a strong opinion too. I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, yesterday's webcast, didn't you say you were off Diodoro, or are you back on? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, it was you. I was fading him.
Yeah.
But, and I was kind of like looking over him.
And he won one today, I think.
I think he might have.
Yeah.
I was just looking at this one. I was just like, this one just looks tough. And okay. I have to go with this horse. I just think it's going to be an easier race for him.
All right. I threw Power Slam as my backup, 5-2. Nothing exciting there. Some nice races in there. Nice bullet move. Making his 3-year-old debut. Ran in a couple of those stakes. I ran in an open stake and ran 3rd. Ran against Oklahoma breds. Ran 2nd. I just felt like I'd throw it on my ticket. All right. Let's move on to the 4th race. It's a 20,000 starter event for colts and geldings, or is it 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up? 4-year-olds and up. Four and up. And they're going 3 quarters. And I landed on the 6. This is a McKnight runner. I have to say I think I'm getting ambitious with this pick, but I like that last drill, and he's been firing. Even today, the one that I picked, when I say today, on Friday's card, the horse was supposed to get out and it was relegated to I put a trip note in it. It actually galloped out super strong, got up for 4th, and so his horses are all running, whether they get a bad trip or not. They're showing a lot of interest. This horse here has never run on dirt, but I like the way it's working. The last drill says it's ready. And am I excited about Ramsey Zimmerman? So far, no. He's 4%, and I'd like to see him. He does have 7 seconds, so he's knocking at the door. And let's just see what happens. He has a full brother. This horse. It's made $300,000, and it has several wins on dirt. Touch of Disney. Ingrid Mason trained that horse, and that horse banked $297,000. So that gives me confidence too to pick it today. My backup was the 5, Lycan, just because of the trainer, Matt Scherer. He's really doing well. Claimed this horse, so it felt logical. It's 5-1. Again, Fuentes, like Ramsey's, only has a couple of wins at the meet, but maybe he'll start waking up himself. It's getting 5 pounds on my horse. It's a 7-year-old. It's only got 5 wins and 43 starts, but it's made a lot of money, and it's in a good barn where, if you got a guy like this claiming a 7-year-old, it was 6 last November, now 7. Must think he can get some run out of it. So I picked that. The one horse that you selected was Solidify.
Yeah, this race was a little, I didn't really like it so much.
I didn't either.
I was kind of just looking through here, and I kind of looked at a little bit of pace. Solidify. He's 8 years old, but he's still running pretty strong. Last year he got an 89 buyer at some point and 165,000 in earnings. Not bad. He's still running strong in these allowance races. And it looks like he can come off the pace real good. Last out was a clunker in the slop.
Yeah.
So I hope it doesn't rain. That was one thing that we definitely don't want it to rain. For him, but he's 9-2. He's a square price. Arietta, and then Jackman, my other pick here, and that's a 10-time winner, 344 in earnings, and he's a Broberg trainee. Just looks like a real super horse. Tries really nice. At Oaklawn, he's a winner. At the distance, he's a winner. So I think he's just a professional racehorse that can probably win back-to-back races. But I'm banking for a little bit of speed in here so I could just sit right off and then maybe get one more win for Solidify before he gets too old.
Yeah, and your backup Jackman, I think did you pick that horse last time?
I did.
Yeah, and it won. It was a good square lukewarm favorite that day, and at 3-1. There's Cult Fiction is a Pete Miller trainee that it was a voided claim last time at Del Mar. So, but he lands here and is protected, and you got to think that horse is feeling good, at least if he's not entered for a tag. So anyway, I don't really like this race. I'm gonna hope that my 15-1 shot here wakes up here in a tough spot on dirt. I like that last drill, and I like the way McKnight's doing with these horses coming in from Canada. But I'll probably just do a modest little wager. I'm not going to bet a lot of money. Race 5. It's an open 3-year-old maiden special weight for 3-year-old colts. And this is where they're going a mile. And I landed on the 5, and you landed on the 5, which is interesting because it's a horse that It's 9-2 morning line, but I could see it going off at like 6 or 7-1, just because of the other connections and the horses that are in here. I will say there's a couple of really good first time starters in the 1 and way out in the 13 hole. I don't know if that 13 is going to get in, but they're bred really well and they're working really well. Your backup pick, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's bred really well and it's working well. It's hard for these colts to go a mile the first time, 2-turn out of the 1 hole and win. We did see a horse pop out of the 1 hole today. But I mean, you look at that drill on December 12th, that's pretty impressive. And followed that up with a bullet. And I thought about it, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna go with a horse that's gonna be an overlay. Now 3 getting Lasix. Ingrid, the horse looked like a winner last time, and it just got tired. It's come back with 2 nice drills, and it's going to get a similar race as last time, and we'll see if it can hang on. What did you like about the 5?
Pretty much all the same things you just touched on, and I mean it's been running in some tough maiden special weight races. It should be, forwardly placed, and I mean it should be right there. Son, sorry. I got a little guy running around playing with Legos. But yeah, that last out was pretty good. Could have won the race. I remember that race. I was like opening weekend, and yeah, Ingrid Mason's capable. Horse is working out really well, and I like that. It's got some experience and then good experience. So let's build off those last 2, and I think this thing's right there, ready to pop its win.
Yeah, and it's actually a if you really want to dig into the PPs, there's a half sister, Plum Ali, 817,000 lifetime earnings, multiple stakes winner.
I remember that horse.
Yep, on the turf. So, this horse can fall back on, maybe a turf career later. But, it's interesting. The turf Tomlinson on this animal is only at 245, which is interesting considering it's got 2 siblings that won on turf, including Plum Ali. But nonetheless, that's a very nice sibling. That's very classy. And this one might carry its speed a little bit further this time around than it did last time. I mean, you have some other fast ones. Asmussen's got that firster, but you also have that the 10 horse, El Magnifico. How do you say that? Magnifico. Street Sense. It's fast. It's run fast. It's run just as fast. It ran against Legalize 2 back, and it's just as fast as like some of the other ones we've seen, like Carbone and stuff like that. So, but 5-2, it's probably going to be 8-5, and that's why when I say Speedtail might be 6-7-1, I really feel like we're going to get an overlay.
And these are this race is filled with a lot of nice young horses.
Yeah.
A lot of these are going to go on and have some very good careers. So if you like a horse in this race, be a fan of it and follow it. And you never know, here in a year or 2, you might see these things starting to win some stake races. I mean, you see it all the time. So don't get
I don't think
bad runs.
I mean, potentially something in here that wins could go into the Southwest, potentially, but they'd have to blow your socks off. Maybe the Rebel down the line if they could string 2 in a row or something. But Yeah, there's a possibility you could get a Derby prospect. I mean, look, if the one runs off the screen, you know,
which he
that
can. I mean,
that's one that can, it has another sibling that was unraced, but I mean, the way they spent 220 on it and the way it's working, I just think I have the foundation with the 5. I'm going into my 5th start, and I feel like I'm going to get my fastest run out of it. So where the 1 might be better than the 5, at least down the road, I think maybe the 5 can beat it today. Now, if the 1 is a true Derby contender, Arkansas Derby contender, whatever, yeah, it might just win first asking, but we'll see. And the 2, it's 2-1 morning line. Didn't do anything wrong in that debut, but
yeah, the 5. I mean, just with the experience alone, this thing should be ready to pop at any point now. And you got first juice as well. I just saw here, so
yeah, my backup. I was gonna say my backup is Ask Willie. It's a bomb. It's stretching out, so that's what I liked about it. Stretching out, gelded, second time blinkers, all kinds of things that can wake it up, and underneath play maybe trifecta super. It looks terrible on paper, but they spent a lot of money on this animal, and it was bet in its debut. It was 7-1. And
but we see horses like this win all the time. So,
well, yeah, it's got a lot of good things happening, and it's a half brother to a horse named Dushare, who was a 10-time winner and made $750,000. So, something to think about with Ask Willie. All right, well, let's move into our late pick 5. And I did put a ticket together, which I will scroll on the bottom. It's a $90 ticket. And we'll discuss this in detail. Race 6 kicks it off. And we both like the 10. I like the 10 on top. It's a $62,500 claiming event, $72,000 purse. They're going a mile. These are some classy older horses, colts and geldings. The 10 is Uninvited Guest. Now, Uninvited Guest was a horse that we liked. I had it. I think this is the race where Dylan Donnelly hit that gigantic.
That's the one. That was that last race.
Gigantic. He hit the pick. Yeah, he hit the trifecta, the exacta. He hit this exacta, 32 over 21-1.
Yeah, it's a Tahoe horse.
And I didn't throw the Tahoe run horse in. I think I had Uninvited Guest in. I had Greener Pastures, who was one of my picks that I liked, and I love Tapsational, who ran 4th in there at 28-1. That one ran a good race for 4th, but I didn't have the runner up, and man, it's just I was kicking myself in the ass for that. But yeah, Dylan made $30,000 on our webcast here. He cashed like $30,000 in tickets. Hit the try for $5, and I think he hit a $25 exacta. So. I like this horse a lot. I think, this horse was claimed by Chris Hartman. Chris Hartman is a really good conditioner at Oaklawn. He sits right in the corner there in the, what's the name of that place? The Carousel. Where do we sit at Oaklawn?
The Post Parade.
Post Parade. He sits in the corner over there with his entourage, and very good trainer. He claimed this horse 3 back. Gave it a rip at 9 panels. It was 42-1 that day. Lost to Command Performance and a bunch of other good horses that day. Came back here in another tough race at 32-1, but it won. And I think he's figured this horse out. And, you know, I just like the company lines of this horse. I like the trainer. I love the price. And I think this horse is coming into its own, and it could be placed kind of like anywhere. If you look at that race at Churchill on September 30th, end of last summer, I got a nice number in there that could definitely compete in here. And the last number's not too far off anyway. And it came from way out of it that day. And then last time here, it's only a run at Oaklawn. It's 1-for-1 at Oaklawn. It was close to the pace. So I think Landeros can just put this horse in where it wants, like break it and, assess the speed. Park behind the front runners. If it's going real fast, rate. If you want the lead, go. I don't think it's going to go to the lead, but it's very versatile and has some tactical speed and can also lay off. So there's a lot of horses in here that are claimed into new barns. There's 4 of them. So I don't know what to expect. 5 different horses were just claimed. And Hartman's had some time to wrench on this one, and I love that price. So I'm gonna land there. And this field is arguably easier than the last field, although Frosted Grace does look really talented. But 8 years old, had a long break from August, ran in the slop last time, got 82. Lost the Money Supply, who's a good horse, but other than that, though, if you look at the rest of the field, very beatable. The one horse was my backup, expensive cut, claimed it to a new barn, and making its 5-year-old debut. I just thought I'd give it a shot, just based on some of those back class runs, and I think it might be prominent early from the inside. And Esquivel's really doing well at the meet so far. You like my 10? It's your backup, but the 6 is your top pick here.
Yeah, the 10 I do like as my backup. I mean, just a mile distance alone just makes perfect sense for him. But yeah, I went with the first claim here for Asmussen. Sometimes when you need some wins, you just kind of keep going back to that well and grabbing them, and that's what I'm doing here. I just think he hasn't ran the horse yet, but he's had some time with him. We are into January 12th. He claimed this one November 15th, and he's coming off a very nice work at the track. And I think you're going to get a similar position as the 10 running style. I think he's just going to be sitting right off of it and, making his move, going around. And, made the best horse win. But I like Asmussen here, off the claim. This horse, has some good numbers, ran in some tough races. And he's 1-for-1 at the mile.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. We'll have that one on our ticket. Our ticket's $90. Do you want to add as a saver? Do you want to add as a saver Frosted Grace, or do you want to leave it off? Is it long in the tooth? Is it long in the tooth now, or does it have one more year left in it? The last 3 races are kind of uninspiring. It ran really well in May of last year.
I think there's other horses. I think there's other horses in here that are better than this and have more upside.
Yeah, I agree.
I really don't like Frosted Grace here, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, let's leave it off. Because it was in really good form all last summer, and they hit a brick. Well, at least through the Lone Star Stake, and then it's got sour, I think, and had some time off, and it ran in a race where got a lot of class relief. Was 6-1 that day. Oaklawn's tough. Money Supply's a nice animal that won and won next time out, but I'm with you. Let's leave it off. We'll go 1-6-10 here. Keep the ticket at $90. All right, race 7. We're pretty formful here. We both like the 9 and the 10. We just have them flip-flopped. This is a state bred optional claiming 40,000 starter allowance and claiming event. So Archie Breds, let's see. The 10 for me on top was Summer Shoes. We touched on this animal on our webcast for the Friday show. A lot of wins. 4 wins and 9 starts, 2 seconds. Won a stake already. The last race was kind of a. Was it a race that it needed? Was it just a head scratcher? It was against Open Company. It was 7-1 that day. I do want to note that was Larry Ravelli's horse that he shipped here back to Ohio. That was able to wire that day. I picked that horse to win that day against Summer Shoes. And I think, and I want to say, I think you picked Summer Shoes that day. I'd have to go back and look.
I forget. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look too.
I think you did. But that was a good field. If you look at the company, Lilu is a nice animal. There's some other good ones in there too. And that was a tough race. Now you're back with Arkansas Breds. And against Arkansas Breds, this horse has lost once by half a length to your top pick, Kaboom. No, not your top pick. We don't have Kaboom Baby on our top. Oh, Kaboom Baby is coming off of a long layoff, so that's why I threw that one out. It's got Louis Quinones. But it's only got one loss against Archie Breds is where I'm getting at with the 10. So I'm hoping that's the winning formula. Drawn outside. Should get a nice trip out there. Cantex is my backup, your top pick. Tell me a little bit about that one. It's 2-1, so not a lot of imagination.
No, not a lot of imagination at all. Oaklawn Park, he's 3 out of 4. His only non-win was going the mile in a state bred stakes race, which he finished 4th out of 14 horses. Not bad. And then he went off to Ellis in Kentucky. Ran third, second, some Open Company, some pretty tough races. Now he's coming back, getting into another state bred. He just looks tough. It's one of those horses that he's never done anything wrong against a group like this. So I'm not gonna try to beat it. And Summer Shoes, which is my backup, I was kind of up in the air with both of them, but I think Cantex is just a more powerful horse, and which maybe land on him on top. But I like him almost evenly.
You might be right. I was gonna say Cantex. Those are
really good.
Yeah, those Open Company races in Kentucky are those are tough races. So it was 27-1 after it ran for 50, and it ran a decent race there that day, going a mile. Fogo Island got a 81 by her speed figure. And then the last race at Churchill, cutting back, was a really nice effort. So, yeah, I think those are the two. I don't see. The 8 is the only other one, which I kind of mentioned that, and I said, man, this thing's been off for a while, and I just, Quinones has been on this thing every time. Yeah, he's won a few races with it, but I just wanted to see this horse, now a 6-year-old, beat these two. It's got to beat both the 9 and the 10, and I got to see it to believe it.
That's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, the other ones are just all slow. Now, Connie K is respectable, and it's one where it's got a lot of early zip. So could be the speed of the speed. If Summer Shoes just tracks it and lets that one go. So that would be the one concern, is if Connie K busts out and just keeps going. But she's never run as fast, and she's 6 years old now. I like to see through. When 3-year-olds go to 4-year-olds, they usually run a lot faster. But now, what's going to change with the 6-year-old mare?
Yeah, I think she's probably, on the regression side of her career. But
I mean, she looks like a board hit candidate. I just don't see her beating, the 8, 9, and the 10. She's got to beat them all.
No, and I think she'll have a good career as a broodmare,
There you go. All right, race 8. We got that one covered. We're just gonna go 2 deep. Keep our ticket cheap, 3x2. It's a $90 ticket. We also have a single we'll talk about, but race 8 was really kind of a tough race to assess. We're 5 deep. Probably could have went deeper, but I landed on the 3-horse. What was that, Marco?
I was all over the place in this race. All over.
Okay. Well, I went with the McKnight theme. I really do like, as opposed to the other McKnight that I picked at 15-1, who, whatever. That race I don't really like. I like this one a lot. Delphia. I watched the replay of that last at Woodbine. It looked like a winner in the turn going into the quarter pole, and it just stopped. And it was a head scratcher. It was 5-1. I just couldn't figure it out. We'll have to ask Justin do this. We know about the trip of death on turf. Does that rule apply on synthetic?
Wow.
Because it looked like it got the damn trip of death in that race. And, and synthetic plays like grass, they say, whatever. But yeah, it just died. McKnight lands here. It's got a beautiful drill after that race at Woodbine on December 30th. And a lot of these horses, like I said, have been firing, all of his horses. So let's see if we can keep the McKnight theme going. Rocco Bones in the irons. He's a little bit, he's a little chilly right now. It's 2 for 38. But this horse is 6-1 and it fits in here. And I'm anxious to see how it does getting first dirt. Looks like it's training really well for it. And why not? And then my backup to 7, Twirling Savi. It's again, it's 20-1. We're getting a 10-pound bug. Our buddy Bielamir, blinkers are on. It's stretching back out. The only time it ran 2 turns was at Canterbury on turf in a stake, and it finished 11th, but it only lost by 5.5 lengths. This is its dirt stretch out debut, so it's we'll see what happens. I have a feeling that this one, it's Mac Robertson, so he's 0 for 17. He's too good of a trainer to not have a win, and he's won a lot of races at Oaklawn through the years, and I think he'll get going sooner or later. This might be the one. If we have this one on our ticket and it pops, I mean, you're not going to complain. I can tell you that. You got the 13 as your top pick. You're going to hope for a scratch for that one to get in. And then if it doesn't get in, you got the 8. Tell me about those.
The 13 is one. I think that could, it looks like it could hang up there for a little while, like watch some of these go. Because I really don't know how the mad scramble is going to be. I'm just hoping she can stay somewhat close, which she looks like she does. And she doesn't really like give up so easily, but she doesn't really have that strong, like passing up horses kick that I like to see either. But hopefully we get a little bit more zip where she can actually carry it and pass them up on default. It's kind of an even runner.
Mm-hmm.
But, her 3 mile races were, first, a second, and a third. Consistent. Like I said, I didn't really like this race so much. And then the 8, that Lily, Stellar Lily.
15-1, Ramo cut, Bejarano.
Yeah, got to win at the track, win at the distance. The connections, got third off layoff, one last out. The thing is, both wins were in the slop. So I'm kind of like,
yeah. Can
you win on the fast dirt? And then that kind of shied me away from actually taking this horse on top, which I might get anyway. But then January 1st was a nice workout. January 1st, 6 out of 36, a couple decent works. So that's kind of where I landed on, forwardly place. And, I think that's going to be, got to be in position to win the race. And I don't think there's any like solidified closers in here that are good enough to come from way out of it.
Well, I will say Stellar Lady ran pretty well here last year. Got a 75 buyer speed figure, 6 panels, maiden special weight. And, that race wasn't awful. 100 optional claiming 100,000 here last March. So its highest lifetime buyer came on a fast dirt track. So, I mean, if you want to
I'll
look at something positive, look at something positive. I threw the 11 into Pachanga Loco. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Or Loca. Pachanga Loca.
Yeah, that's a fast.
I wish I knew Spanish. I'm assuming that's Spanish. I don't know. Good connections. Horse is fast as hell, and trainer's hot, and it got a beautiful work. And I mean, Santana's on it, so I felt the need to throw that one in on our ticket. And
I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if this thing just went completely right around the track. So
yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of zip to contend with. What do you think about the 5-2 favorite here? Where's it at?
Sicilian Grandma.
Yeah, the trainer is red hot. Is that why it's 5-2? It ran, the same condition. It was the winner's gone, and it ran second, so it was 9-1 that day. Are they just assuming, okay, it ran second, the winner's gone, same condition, now we're going to make it the favorite? Is that what they did? Or because I don't know about this one.
I don't know if it's going to be quick enough or good enough, really. I was just kind of looking at the races, and I think he started going up a little bit. I mean, that last race was pretty nice, though. I mean, but outside of that, the lines weren't really impressive to me.
Well, I just don't think it's faster than Pachanga.
It's not faster than Pachanga. Can it hang on late? I don't think so.
It's not faster than Pachanga.
I think
early. That's for sure. I mean, because we're stretching. Pachanga's stretching out. I mean, Sicilian Grandma's going. That last race went 48-3. Actually, didn't even have the lead. Where Pachanga Loca is exiting a 7-panel affair where it set the pace at 45-2. So, I don't see Sicilian Grandma having the lead. But then again, I mean, the Saratoga race, it tracked. Debut it. Came out a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, the
trainer's really good. The trainer's good.
and she does look like she is, in getting better as time is going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really didn't land on it, and I didn't like it as much as other horses here.
Yeah.
I could see
yeah. Well, I think we'll stick to what we got. We're deep enough there. If we can't beat Sicilian Grandma with
I don't know, man. After looking at it, it looks pretty nice.
5 horses, then I don't know. Now, if the 13 doesn't get in, Marko, do we throw another horse in to keep the ticket at 90? And who do you throw in?
You know what? If the 13 don't get in, let's throw in Sicilian Grandma.
You want to?
Because
all right.
No, I mean the last 4 route races here. I mean, really didn't do anything wrong.
It has showed it could rate a little bit. It does. It's not a need to lead type. By any means. The turf race at Kentucky Downs. Come on, we know what Kentucky Downs is. That's you either love it or you hate it. So it hated it.
Yeah.
The sloppy track at Belmont in May of 23. Throw that out. But yeah, the route races are key. The route races on dirt are all good.
They're all good.
And you have a red hot trainer, and Esquivel's been doing well. So 41% Esquivel is the last 2 years with this trainer.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I mean, I don't know about 5-2 because there's a lot of other horses in here that All
right, so what we'll do, we'll throw if your 13 don't get in, we're gonna throw Sicilian Grandma in there. Sound good?
Yeah, that right. Works.
So make a note of that, everybody. All right, race 9. This is a stake, and this is one where I think we're on the same page here, and this is our single. This is the Asmussen Trainee Sharp Tune, and I looked at this race, and I think most astute handicappers are going to be like, this horse should have the front.
Should have the front,
and it should wire.
And it should wire.
It should wire. She her debut is really good at 5 panels. It got the front and set the pace and won. It actually came off the pace. It got off slow, probably lost footing. Churchill, we know that we can't see Churchill replays on Formulator, but I'm really getting upset about the Oaklawn. I could see the blue. I click on it and I'm getting no replays for Oaklawn. We got to figure out who to talk to.
All right.
About that.
Go to the RTN thing under my thing.
No, I'm just saying I go on ExpressBet, but it's not convenient. I hate it. But anyway, Sharp Tune still won. So, but I think I think if you look at that last race, that race had some crazy speedballs. There's no field lass in here. Field lass is extremely fast. She just won a race actually a few days ago at Gulfstream, 5 furlong sprint. She went 21 and change, 43 and change, 55 flat. This horse is consistently on dirt, gone sub 45. Matter of fact, this filly Field Lass that ran against our pick here last year in a maiden special weight went 22 flat at Churchill, 44 and 2, and drew off and got a 92 by her speed figure as a 2-year-old. And there's other crazy fast fillies in here, so you're not going to see anything like that in here today. I mean, there's nothing like that Sharp Tune is going to have to contend with. And it rated in the slop after it probably slipped or whatever the hell happened 2 back, but it still won. But I think the point being is Asmussen's going to tell his kid, hey, we're the fastest horse, go. And I mean, that's the way I see it, and I think we can win by daylight.
That's I mean, that is the note. There's really nothing else to do. Sharp Tune should have the lead and should wire.
I mean, yeah, I urge everybody to go dig into that the Fern Creek at Churchill and just look at the company lines and look at some of those fillies in there. Those were some fast ass fillies. A lot of zip, and there's nothing in here. She should crawl. I threw a Midshipman's Dance in as my backup, just because I like that debut win. And then there's a lot of other nice fillies in here. You landed on the 6 as your backup.
Yeah, Tanya Showers. I had Tanya Showers last out in the win and kind of looked good doing it. So I just said, hey, maybe you can get second.
Yeah. Yeah, she's going to have a lot to do to reel in a Sharp Tune who's going to be just, I mean, relatively going to be going slow for a 6 furlong race, in my opinion. I mean, do you honestly think that, like, who would even think about? Let me look at this for a second. The 3 pressed last time at 46 flat. Okay, big deal at 42-1. That's not going to do nothing. Yeah, I mean, what's going to go with the 2?
Nobody. I just don't see it.
It's a single. If Sharp Tune does not wire this field, I'm gonna, look. These are young, previously just 2, now 3-year-old fillies who have 1, 2, 3 starts. One has 4, whatever, but they're lightly races. The point I'm making. So yeah, anything can happen. Things can change. Horses always change their riding style or the way they running styles as they get older. But as of right now, I think the writing is on the wall, and we just go to the front and say bye-bye. And then what do you think the morning, or not the morning line, but the post odds are going to be?
Not 3-1. I mean, and then you're gonna have the computer wagering thing going on. I mean, you're probably gonna be like 4-5.
Yeah, it's gonna get pounded.
More likely.
So we're gonna need one of those prices to come in. But hey, look, there's other decent fillies in here. Divine Gal's 2 for 2, but
some nice horses in here, but
again, Divine Gal has to come from. What do you? I don't get
it was the pace. I actually like Divine Gal. I like Tiny Shower. I mean, I like a lot of these horses.
I like a lot of these fillies, but what are they going to do? Like
there's no pace to them. I mean, there's nothing. This horse is going to be all alone up front, and then it's got good connections. And I mean,
yeah, I mean, Steve's going to tell.
The last 2.
Yeah, they're going to be like, hey, there's no field lass in here. That's probably going to be the comment. Go, they're giving us the front. All right, that's it. We singled it. We're good. Last leg, we're deep. We both like the 8 in the last leg, but we have a lot of horses in the last leg. I think is the 8 well, let's dive right into it. The 8 is Elusive Target. The way I figure, look, this should be just a hot pace. It's a closer. We love the jockey, Chuan. The last race it was in, it chased slow-ass fractions and could not close into it. It's going to get a total opposite race flow today. Where they went 49-3 last time, they're probably going to go 47-4 this time. So we're going to get a much faster pace to run at. And, this horse was claimed 2 back by this trainer, Matt Shire or Sharir. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Anyway, this guy, he knows how to train. Okay. And he's probably licking his chops. So like the horse ran a really good race last time, and it just couldn't close into that. I just think it's going to run a huge race today. It's going to have a lot of pace to run at. It's 15-1, and I'll take that with a trainer that's hitting at 30%. And I love Martin Chouin.
Yeah, I like the jock switch as well.
My backup was King Russell, just because I picked that horse in the frickin' Kentucky Derby at 32-1, and they gelded it. These are the type of horses though that always disappoint. This horse ran in the Kentucky Derby. Let's bet it, and they run fourth. But it's got a similar setup. It's a plotter though, but it's going to probably it's going to be heard from late, is what I was thinking. You like the 8? Touch on the 8 a little bit more if you want, and then tell me about your 12.
The 8. I mean, you and I saw the same thing, and I was up in the air between the 12 and the 8, the 8 or the 12. I just didn't like the post on the 12 as much. Mm-hmm. But the distance, 4 out of 5 in the exacta. On the fast dirt, was he 7, 8, 9 out of 11 in the money. The horse likes to hit the board, and it could work out a trip probably from pretty much anywhere. But I think that the 8's going to have a better setup. And
I do want to point out. It looks like it's also entered another race. Let me pull this up.
Oh, really?
January 14th. Let's pull it up real quick. It's entered on Sunday.
What kind of race?
Race 8. It's A other than. There's 9 horses in it. It's in the 7 hole. It's 4-1. What's the odds here?
10-1. Who's is the same rider?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's not going to run in this race. No, I don't.
I wouldn't. Sounds like a better race than the other one, but yeah, I mean, I like the rider better on the 8 than Aramia, so I this one's in second.
All right. Well, if they do scratch the 12, who do we throw in?
We got the 10 right in there already. Because I kind of like.
I've got here. This is what we got. We got 7. We got them all in order: 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got every outside horse. So if the 12 leaves, the 13 gets in. Not excited about it. We could throw in the Becker runner. We could throw in probably Megan's Honor. It'd stretch you back out. Lost his condition by a half a length. With 84 number last year. Or do you want to throw the 6 in? The 6 is
game time decision.
Yeah, maybe we go 6 through 11. 6 has been trying to get the lead. It got the front on the slop at Ellis in June and wired, but since then it's not going to get the lead today. I can tell you that. It's 3-1 too. Probably go with the 5. I don't know. We'll talk about that. But anyway, yeah, we're pretty deep here. Anyway, the long shot play, we both have the same pick. We both like Elusive Target. is a horse that could potentially blow up the tote board.
And I hope it does.
I mean, you know what? There's a lot of speed. It looks slightly slower than some of these, but it's not that much slower. And like I said, this trainer just got its hands on this horse, and you look at that half mile. I know it was a good track that day, 23 track bias. They went 49-3. That's slow as hell.
Look, we're in a much better barn, and you got a much better rider. I mean, that's just upgrading.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, I think that's it, man. We'll see if this one can blow up the tote board. We got our Pick-5. It's a $90 ticket. We'll call some audibles if your 13 don't get in, if the 12 scratches. In this race.
Yeah, look at the scratch list when it comes out, and then finalize.
Yeah, we'll mix and match. But I like our picks, and I'm excited. Listen, we got a single Sharp Tune. We think Sharp Tune's going to wire the Mockingbird. And I'm interested to see how those McKnight runners do on the dirt, because he's been doing good with them. Are we going to run on Sunday, Marko? There's a rumor that's in danger.
Sunday's in danger. It all depends on how the track. I mean, if it freezes over, they will cancel it. Because they can't put the chemicals on this track or anything like that. So if it freezes, it freezes, and if they do the maintenance on it, if it ain't working out, they will cancel. And sometimes the jockeys complain that it's too damn cold, and they just say they ain't running.
Yeah, it's supposed to get really cold Sunday into Monday. I know Monday it's going to be like
they may run Sunday. Now, if they were running Monday, which usually they did in the past years, there would be no possible way they would be running on Monday. So there's a chance Sunday they will run, but that's for the future to find out.
Well, maybe they'll give us a notice. We'll find out. Until then, man, let's cash some tickets. Let's make some money. Let's hit that late Pick-5. And I will see you potentially for Sunday's show on Saturday night, tomorrow night.
Yep.
Unless otherwise noted. All right, let's do it. Let's make some money.
All right.
All right, Marko.
All righty.
Have a good night.
Good luck, everyone.